Well, since it's noon, I guess I should say good afternoon. My name is Adam Wilczek, and I am Director of Endowment and Donor Engagement for the United Way of Greater Nashville. And it is my pleasure and privilege to host this month's Tour Tuesday. Tour Tuesday is an opportunity for folks to get an inside look at our donor agencies. For staff of partner agencies, it's an opportunity for them to learn about the inner workings of other agencies. For those wanting to get involved, for people who want to get involved with an agency, it gives them an opportunity to hear about those agencies and what opportunities they might have. And for donors, it is a way to hear about how their dollars are put to work. And while it is our hope that in the near future, we will do Tour Tuesdays in person, and I have done that, and it is very valuable to get to see them, actually to be in the agency's building or farm area, whatever as the case may be. This one, obviously, we are going to do virtually. And during today's tour, we will be discussing mental health and how partner agencies provide counseling and mental health services to restore lives, to educate and empower individuals, couples, and communities and families within our community. And today I have the great privilege of being joined by two agencies, Insight Counseling Centers and the Refuge Center for Counseling. And so I would like to introduce our two speakers for today, Pam Brown, who is the Executive Director of Insight Counseling Center, and Catherine Hofstetter, who is the Director of Development for the Refuge Center. Now, we're going to put we have a question and answer box there, and if we have a sufficient time at the end of the tour, we will answer those questions. So if you have questions, you can put them in the Q&A box, and we'll deal with them at the end. And so I'd like to thank you all for joining us and to welcome you. And so let's get started with Tour Tuesday. I'd like both of you to share about the services you provide, your service region, the impact you have on the community, and the outcomes that you see. Pam, can you start us off and take 15 minutes to go through all of that?
I'll be glad to, and I'm turning my timer on to make sure I don't go over. And first, let me welcome everyone on the call. And I took a peek at the attendee list, and I see Insight's board vice chair is with us. So I want to especially thank Mercedes Lytle for supporting me and Insight today and joining the call. And thank you to everyone else who's taking the time to be here. It is an honor to be with you today and to present alongside Catherine. We are very grateful to the United Way of Greater Nashville for the support that you provide us, and that the support that you do provide supports our clients. So a little bit about Insight Counseling Centers. We have 8 physical locations. We have 4 in Davidson County, 1 in Rutherford County, 1 in Sumner County, 1 in Williamson County, 1 in Montgomery County. And we also see clients via telehealth. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a moment. But Insight provides spiritually informed therapy. So what on earth does that mean? We did a name change and rebranding in 2016. Our former name was Pastoral Counseling and Consultation Centers of Tennessee. Is that not a mouthful? And so there was some confusion around in the community. There was some confusion around the term pastoral counseling. People thought it was counseling for pastors. They thought that was our specific, very finely tuned niche. And today's language in this type of therapy space is spiritually informed therapy, and that is what we practice. And so what that means is our therapists are formally trained in therapy, and many of them also have additional education around spiritual formation. And so it is not Christian therapy. It is not Bible therapy. It's very ecumenical. We have clients who come from many faith traditions. Some claim no faith or spirituality, but we believe that all beings are multifaceted, physical, emotional, spiritual. And our therapists are equipped to walk alongside their clients who bring questions of a spiritual nature to their therapy. As far as impact in the community, right now we are providing about 15% more sessions than same time last year, year to date, 15% more. I have noticed that during the pandemic, and we'll talk about some vision casting later. I know Catherine and I have some thoughts around that, but during the pandemic, I noticed we were getting calls from people who never thought they'd need therapy. And so I'm very hopeful that mental health issues are becoming less stigmatized than they once were. I am old enough that I can remember a time when if someone had cancer, that word was whispered. I don't know if any of you recall those days, but so-and-so had cancer. Well, thankfully, cancer is no longer stigmatized. I don't see it as stigmatized. Maybe I'm wrong there, but mental health still is the last frontier, I believe, in healthcare stigmatization. And so, I believe the pandemic has caused people to realize it is okay to not be okay and to ask for help. And so year over year, we are providing more sessions than in years past. When I first joined Insight, and I joined in January of 2017, at our organization, the number one presentation was depression, followed by anxiety. Even pre-pandemic, that had flipped, and our number one presentation became and still is anxiety, followed by depression. We see individual clients, couples, and families. And again, a number one presentation is anxiety for us. But we also work with a variety of mental health concerns, whatever people bring to the table. So certainly there is addiction, there's empty nesting, there's life transition, premarital counseling, marriage counseling, whatever is being experienced in the human condition is what we work with. I realize I have more time. I could stop now and pause and let Catherine jump in, and then we could have a back and forth. Or maybe first I can tell you a little bit about telehealth and our experience with that. Would that be okay?
That'd be fine.
Okay, thank you. So, every organization, be it nonprofit or for-profit, had to learn how to do things in a different way when the pandemic entered our service area. Interestingly, the strategic plan that Insight is currently under and is finishing up this year, that was written in the summer of 2019. And we had planned to, in the strategic plan, we had planned to bring in telehealth in the fall of 2020. We knew we needed to do an electronic health record migration. We needed a new, more robust system. And we thought it made perfect sense to do the migration first and then bring in telehealth. So then the pandemic happened, and we realized all of our locations closed. Our locations are hosted by area worship communities, and as they closed, their physical location. So did we. And we knew we were needed now more than ever. And so we just flip-flopped the order of our strategic objectives, and we brought telehealth to Insight with less than a 2-week turnaround. I really want to brag on my colleagues. The therapists had never done telehealth. They taught themselves how to do that, and the admin team turned around those forms. People used to come into the office and pick up a clipboard and fill out their forms, and all of a sudden those had to be in downloadable PDFs, and where it was zero touch. And the team turned that around, like I said, in less than 2 weeks. I was at the time, thinking back on it, I was strictly focused on our current clients and how we keep meeting their needs without disruption. And I wasn't forward thinking yet, like we would have been had we brought in telehealth on our timetable, not the pandemic timetable. But thanks to telehealth, the thing I didn't immediately anticipate is that we would be a statewide organization because of telehealth. And we've served clients now in 35 counties so far. And every time we run a report, we pick up another county that we've touched at least one life there. So, no one would have wished that pandemic on anyone, but if we have to look for silver linings wherever we can find them, that would be a silver lining, and that we learn to provide care in a different way. In fact, we've recently received a grant that's going to allow us to do a pilot program with older adults in Cheatham County, to work with them to teach them how to use devices and avail themselves of technology and receive mental health support via telehealth. So we've got some exciting things coming down the pike in the telehealth space. So now I'll be quiet and pitch it over to Catherine.
Okay, Catherine, why don't you take on the same subject?
Sure. Thank you, Pam. Pam and I were just discussing before everybody hopped on just how interdependent we are as organizations. We refer to each other all the time, just a lot of like-minded synergy. And so we just are really grateful for the way the United Way brings so many awesome local partners together so we can work together and collaborate. So as Pam said, we're so thankful for the United Way of Nashville and all the fantastic work that you all are doing, and that you empower all of us and these local organizations to do. So thank you. It is such a privilege to be a part of this special group. Thanks for having the Refuge Center for Counseling here today with Insight. There are a lot of parallels that you'll hear as I'm speaking. And then I have a short video of one of our clients, Gabriel, that I'll share with you at the end. But the Refuge Center for Counseling was founded in 2005 by two local therapists, Amy Alexander, who is still our executive director, and Jennifer Gillette, who now sits on our board. And they are both marriage and family therapists who saw the need for affordable therapy. So the Refuge Center truly exists to offer excellent, accessible, affordable mental and emotional health care in support of transformational communities. So we want collaboration, we want transformation, and it's all the hallmark is this accessibility and affordability component paired with excellence. So no matter who you are, where you're from, what's been done to you, what you've done, we want you to find a safe place at the Refuge Center for Counseling. And we never want finances to be a barrier to this life-saving work. I mean, never, and it shouldn't be. And so we do have a sliding fee scale that goes as far down as $19 an hour for a hardship allowance, and then goes up to $125 based on household income. And that's how we're able to hopefully make it as affordable as possible to as many people in our community as possible. As Pam said as well, we just saw a tremendous increase in our call volume ever during the pandemic, honestly, and afterwards. So we saw a 22% increase in 2020 to 2021 and are still managing that. We opened more offices, hired more therapists, thanks to some incredible grants and folks like the United Way coming alongside of us and saying, hey, mental health is sort of the next pandemic on the tail end of the COVID pandemic. And so we're all still dealing with that. We run a wait list of 100 to 200 people, but we're able to turn that really pretty quickly if someone comes, and it just depends on how picky or what specific someone really needs, whether it's timing or therapist preference. But we have about 80 therapists and we really try to have a spectrum of what we can work with and the modalities we use. I do know that last time we looked, some of the more clinical modalities we have, like neurofeedback and EMDR, there are not a lot of places that you can receive that kind of care on a sliding fee scale. So we see a lot of people coming to the Refuge Center for that excellent care model, but also at a price point that is doable and doesn't scare people away. We see clients as young as age 4, all the way up to 85. I mean, Pam, I was so excited to hear about that pilot project you all are doing because there's a need. There's a need there. We also provide telehealth as well for the entire state of Tennessee now. And then in our fiscal year, I guess would be 2021, we have a July 1st to June 30th fiscal year, like many nonprofits. We were able to serve over, I believe it was 3,400 clients. That would be families, couples, individuals, children, in over 37,000 counseling sessions. And those clients come from 18 plus counties in Tennessee. So again, thanks to telehealth, we're able to reach a greater area of our state, but also we see the majority of our clients still come in from Davidson County and Williamson County and some of the surrounding counties, as many people do want to be in person still for us. So that's sort of high level who we are, what we do, and a lot in terms of mental health, and Pam touched on this as well. You know, the pandemic kind of leveled the playing field in some ways. We saw people have permission for the first time ever to get the support they need. And we always say at the Refuge Center, if you are human, you're going to go through something hard. Mental health issues, emotional health issues, grief and loss, you know, these are human issues that do not discriminate, no matter your zip code, your race, your gender, none of that matters. And we just saw a permission to ask for help. And so with that destigmatizing process, we're getting more calls than ever. And we just feel very grateful that that is shifting, I think, culturally, but also it means the need continues to be there and continues to be great. So we're always looking to come alongside other nonprofits, collaborate, send a therapist to other therapies, to other nonprofits that, you know, need a mental health professional on staff. So we're always open to that collaboration piece as well. And again, I love what Insight does because it's really about the dignity of the client. And so all are welcome. We are a Christ-centered counseling facility, and that's just kind of what our values are, but we welcome and see anyone. And we want that to be very clear. We're located in Franklin, and we'll be building, actually are in the midst of a capital campaign as well to build a new facility where we'll be able to serve, do 250 more sessions a year and get to double the capacity of children and teens we can see. And so I don't know if y'all have been reading up in the New York Times, they've been doing all these pieces on particularly adolescent mental health right now and how there truly is a crisis of care. And so we really want to be able to enter into that space and come alongside more of our teens and children who are struggling so much with anxiety, depression. So that's just a quick overview. I think I'll stop there and just show a short video of one of our clients, Gabriel, who has done some work with his family here at the Refuge Center for Counseling, and bravely shared his story with us last fall. So I'll put that on, and then Adam, I'll just send it back to you. So thank you all for listening, and we look forward to continuing the conversation in a moment. I'm going to screen share this video. Okay. Where did it go? Okay. Let's see. Okay. Okay.
I was having trouble with OCD and anxiety, and I didn't even know it. And then one day my parents thought that a counselor might be good, and it brought me here. Her name is Miss Elizabeth. She helped me try and suggest ways to calm me down when I'm really mad. Instead of calling it OCD, me and her usually called it Mr. Worry. She would help me fight him and try and make him smaller. There are so many nice people, and I love coming here. This place has really helped me improve and made me not worry as much as I used to. If you don't even know what you're struggling with, or if you're just not in control of yourself, they can really help you just control yourself. If they can help me, I'm sure they can help you too. When I was younger, I didn't even know I had OCD and anxiety, and my parents didn't know either. And I used to be like not in control of who I was, and now I can control myself better and just be who I want to be.
Okay, well, thank you so much, both Pam and Catherine, for the information that you provided to us. And for sharing about your incredible services your organizations provided. I'd like to move now to community outreach, education outreach. How does your organization reach out to the community? How do you share insights around mental health issues? Could each of you spend a couple of minutes discussing how that looks and the importance of community outreach and educational services? And we'll start with Catherine this time.
Sure, me again. Well, for a long time when the Refuge Center started, it was just word of mouth. So, and while our referral network has grown drastically over the 17, 18 years plus we've been servicing the community, clients and current clients and former clients are still our number one referral source. So that's how the kind of word got out that the Refuge Center was here and we were offering affordable mental health care. But in terms of, there are a few ways that we really like to, we haven't had a trouble with referrals, but we get referrals from doctors, other therapists, other nonprofits and NGOs like United Way and Insight, schools, churches, so many community-based organizations refer to us, as well as just individuals and of course those current and former clients. And then in terms of kind of mental health and thought leadership, helping people understand and communicate emotional and mental health needs, we do have a speakers bureau. So our therapists are happy to go out into the community and speak at a corporate lunch or at a school event or do a Zoom with you and your team at work who want to talk through self-care principles or more about grief and loss or stress. And so we love doing that. And so on our website, we have kind of a menu of suggestions of topics we might get out and want to and be happy to share about. But we also have folks who come to us and say, hey, we have a real specific topic in mind and we need a professional to come hit on this. Who do you have? And so we love partnering in the community and helping really put language to mental health issues, destigmatizing, normalizing, and helping people have a language for this this particular healthcare service. And then we partner, like I said, we have collaborative partnerships with other nonprofits in the community where they might get a grant. So for instance, Dream Streets is a nonprofit organization based in West Nashville. They get a grant and we send a therapist there to work with their specific population. So that's how we can kind of stretch our arms and legs and create more community impact, because the Refuge Center, unlike Insight, only has one main facility. Let's see, other ways, partnering with folks like great grant organizations like the United Way and other corporations, churches, and private individuals. We do a couple main events each year. We do our annual fundraiser, Hope Grows, in the spring, and that helps us raise our funding gap, which is, it costs us $87 to provide a therapy session. And on average, our clients are paying around $52. So we have to raise $32 for every single counseling session we do. So that annually, we've got to raise about $1 million now. And that Hope Grows fundraiser helps us with that $1 million gap, as does the United Way and other wonderful partners. And then we have in the fall an emotional wellness conference called Live Intentionally Speaker Series. That's coming up this year on September 23rd, and I'd be happy to put that information in the chat box for any of y'all afterwards. But it's really our gift to the community. It's a $25 fee for a 3-hour speaking event of different experts and professionals talking about a certain mental health topic. This year, it's called Equip: the tools we need to address the child and teen mental health crisis. And so we've got 5 local professionals who are going to be sharing some real practical tools. So we invite you all. It's only $25, and that basically just pays for your breakfast, and so we can give these speakers an honorarium and that kind of thing. So do that every year in the fall, and that's a great way to have, practitioners, just lay people, anyone come out, connect, and hopefully get some resources that are helpful in their daily life. So those are our kind of main connecting pieces. And I would just say, a big thank you to all of you all who are involved with us in some way. We do on the 1st and 3rd Tuesday of every month, we host a connections lunch at the Refuge Center at our main facility here in Franklin. And anyone is welcome. It's free. We'll do a tour of the Refuge Center. We'll sit down, we'll visit, we'll have lunch together, and we really try to connect with each other in different organizations and folks within the community through that realm as well. So welcome any of you to that anytime.
Okay, thank you, Catherine. Pam, can I bounce the ball over to you now?
Thank you. Absolutely. So Catherine talked about where referrals come from. And like Catherine, most of our referrals come from former clients. We also receive a lot of referrals through online searches. So when people Google affordable therapy or income-based fee scale, we do pop up. And so a lot of people call us, and we do ask at the point of intake, how did you hear about us? And time again, we're hearing, I found you online. I was looking for therapy on an income-based fee scale. So like the Refuge Center, it's our honor to be able to provide exquisite therapy that is affordable. And the question was about community engagement and community outreach, and we consider education to the community one of our pillars of care. And so it's not, I mean, it's wonderful if referrals come about that, but it is a separate service line for us. We do 6 to 8 webinars a year, and we are so happy to finally be planning in-person workshops again. In addition to the webinars are not going to go away, and we're adding back in the in-person workshops. We're working with a congregation in Donaldson right now to do something in September around parenting and grandparenting children who have mental health concerns, mental health issues. Like Refuge, we also see young children, as I know that we've had as young as 3. And so parenting and grandparenting are of concern to people. So we're excited to be bringing that to the community. One of our therapists out of our Clarksville office is working on a workshop that he wants to do there, and we'll be partnering with the Montgomery County Library for space to make that happen. Our fall workshop is called Restoration Experience. That's going to be in November, and the theme deals with faith-based fractures. And we will have about 3 therapists deliver TED Talk style presentation. So we look forward to providing that to the community. All of those events that I have mentioned are free and open to the community as long as space is available. We also receive requests from businesses, from Sunday school classes, other organizations to bring a speaker in. And when we receive the speaker request and the topic, then we talk to our therapists who may, be in that topic's wheelhouse, with their practice. And we've not had to decline a request yet. So we're always happy to meet needs. We have received requests for now this there is a fee associated with it, but we have received requests for rapid response when there has been a workplace death or a tragedy such as that. We do try to work with organizations that are going through those unspeakable, terrible times and help them with debriefing with staff and mental health support. So that is how we manage and work with the community. Again, community education is very important to us. We also, it's not community education, but it's clinical education. It's really important to us that we train the next generation of therapists. We have an internship program, and we also have therapists from across the community who are not practicing with Insight, but they know that our supervision that we provide is very good, it's solid, and they come to us. There is a fee for service for that, but they come to us to receive supervision as they're working towards licensure.
Okay, Pam, thank you very much. And keeping in the order, I guess I'll go back to you for the last question, and that is looking forward. As Greater Nashville, the community opens up more after the adjusting to the pandemic. What are your plans for going forward? What are your success stories? What do you hope to achieve in the future? So can you address that?
Well, interesting. Your question is interestingly timed because we are in strategic planning season right now for the strategic plan that's going to inform years 23 through 25. And so right now it's in draft form. We just had our strategic planning retreat last week, and we have a draft that's gone out to all the participants to make sure it fully captured the day and what we discussed. So those kinds of things we can't really talk about yet until the plan has been adopted by the board later this year. I am at liberty to tell you that an organization, a congregation from a county has, and I won't share the county at this point, but a county that we currently do not have a physical location in. They have contacted us and would very much like us to open a center in their community. We are in the vetting process right now. We don't plant flags, simply because we're asked. So we do look at everything with a business lens, and we're in the process right now of vetting that opportunity and whether or not that is something that would be a good fit for us and for that community. So, we may be opening a ninth location soon. Certainly the pilot program that I told you about earlier will be, that work has started. So we're very excited about what can unfold with that, because the project, we will be working with the senior center in Ashland City, as well as an organization called Tech Goes Home Chattanooga, that provides a lot of curriculum for teaching different audiences. And of course, this one with us is going to be a senior adult, older adult audience. But if the pilot program proves that we achieved what we hope to achieve and that the clients were well served, that program can be replicated all across the state. So we're really looking forward to rolling up our sleeves and getting in there with that pilot program.
And Catherine, how about for you, the same question about looking to the future?
Yes, that's exciting, Pam. Thanks for sharing. Yes, I think I mentioned we are building a new facility to help us serve more people. And so we hope to be able to break ground this fall. We're in the construction document phase and all of that. So that's exciting. And we will welcome everyone to the groundbreaking when that happens. So we do, in that vein, and to Pam's point about strategic planning, our hope for the future is really to be focused on whole person, whole community, whole career. And so we really want to capture, this holistic experience of coming to get help. But at our new facility, you'll be able to do the walking trails or have more experiential mental health work, work alongside our nature trails or our prayer chapel. And so we're really looking forward to the new ways we can encourage health and healing in this facility. Last year, we launched a whole new group counseling program. And so now that folks are meeting again more, we've been able to increase the amount of group offerings we have, which can really help when you have a waiting list, because that's a great way to serve more people more quickly. And we really just see group dynamics having such a powerful impact on healing and growth, and in addition to the individual counseling experience. So we keep those updated on our website. I know we've got Men's Core Emotion coming up, Wounded Hearts, and we do grief retreats at least twice a year. So that's another way that we look forward to continue expanding our program and really hopefully attracting more folks. I mean, we haven't always had a robust group offering. And so that is a new program that we've really kicked off last year. And we're just encouraged that more people are getting help, and we want to be a resource. And like Pam said, a mental health thought leader, help people understand, lower the barriers for access to care. And again, this fall, we have our Live Intentionally speaker series that we encourage folks to get involved with. I did want to mention, I said the wrong statistics earlier, that in our last fiscal year, we served 4,300 clients, not 3,700, 37,000 counseling sessions. So those numbers continue to grow, and we see that as good news that people are reaching out for the support they need in a difficult time. So lots of exciting ways to get involved and think about moving forward for sure. So.
That's great. I have one or two questions. It says, the counseling profession is a very unique area, the medical world, business world, and as human nature allows us, all organizations have their struggles. Please talk about the process you have in ensuring people, the best people on the board, and what is their system of checks and balances to maintain a high standard of expertise. So, Catherine, can you take that on first?
Sure. I mean, it's a great question. And I think from the beginning, excellence and quality of care have been just central to the Refuge Center mission. And so we have currently 20 folks on our board, and they do 3-year terms. And we have an executive committee who meets every other week, actually, and then our board meets every month. With the change, all that's changing in this field, it just is really important for our board to stay up to speed, integrated, and that we have different voices and perspectives coming into big decisions. And so certainly we have checks and balances from our executive committee, our treasurer, secretary, VP, and board chair, and then our executive director, Amy, who sits on that too. And then the rest of our board, we have committees. And we just encourage people to stay as up to speed on what's happening culturally, what's happening within the community, what are the needs to get educated. And then on the staffing side, like Pam and Insight Counseling, we have 20 interns that come from local universities. So master level interns who are coming in and training with us. So we do want to be a part of training just this level of excellence, so that when they go out into the community, they're able to provide our community. And we see that, we think that there's a ripple effect there. When one person gets healthy, a family gets healthy. When a family gets healthy, a community gets healthy, and so goes the ripple effect. So we absolutely, it has to be a value and just consistently at the forefront of leadership. And as we're hiring therapists, I mean, we have a pretty rigorous hiring process that we actually just updated a couple of weeks ago. So I hope that
Okay.
answers the question.
A follow-up question to that, Catherine, it said, did you say you have a group for men? Is this in virtual or in person?
Yes, we have a men's core emotion group coming up in next month, I believe. And I believe it's in person, but they do offer a virtual option. So,
Okay. And Pam, can you take that question on the process for ensuring the best people on the board and the system of checks and balances?
I'd be glad to. So we have a very intentional board recruitment process. I mean, it's on an Excel spreadsheet, you know, it's a, we know the persona of who we are looking for. For example, right now, we have board members who represent all of the counties where we have a physical location, except for Sumner. And so we are having recruitment meetings right now, trying to find that person to represent Sumner County on our board. Diversity is very important to us, and we define diversity to be a host of things: age, gender, race, geography, where the board member lives. First and foremost, the board member, and profession. First and foremost, the board member needs to have a passion for mental health concerns and be an advocate for mental health concerns. We do want to have an array of skill sets, and so we have a lawyer on our board, we have accountants, financial planner, it just a therapist, a clinician, clergy. So it's important to us that we have a balance on our board. So we don't want 10 lawyers. We don't want 10 members of clergy. So we want that balance. So as you look across the board, there is a swath of skill sets that support our mission. And I'm very proud of the board. The board and staff have a collaborative relationship. It's not big I, little you, or anything like that. And I'm thinking back to last week's strategic planning retreat, and I'm thinking back to the one we had almost 4 years ago. Different facilitators, and both commented on how much synergy existed between the board and the staff present. Everybody is somehow on the same page, and I believe that's because everyone is looking at the goal of supporting the community around mental health. And when you're willing to check the ego at the door and put the mission first, that synergy is going to happen. As far as checks and balances to maintain the high standard of expertise, as executive director, I empower our clinical director around those decisions around the clinicians. We do contract with our clinicians, so they are on an annual contract. They're contract therapists, 1099 therapists. And so we go into contracting season and we look at attributes. It is a given that we want the therapist to provide exquisite care in counseling session, but we also have high standards on the admin parts of the role. Is someone doing their charting in a timely manner? Are they accurate? And so we'll start looking at contracting for the next year in October, and the clinical director, I will support her, and we can work collaboratively, but she will take the lead on making those decisions as to whether or not we offer a contract. Again, gratefully, I'm so thankful that 19 times out of 20 we are, because we do have outstanding therapists, and we very much want them to continue their service with Insight Counseling Centers.
I know that some of you may have questions, further questions after this session ends. Each attendee will get a follow-up email, and that will give you contact information, and you can provide those questions to me, and we'll get them answered for you. Once again, I want to say thank you to Pam with Insight Counseling Centers and Catherine with the Refuge Center for Counseling for taking the time to be with us. I know I speak for all of us in this virtual space when we say we are so grateful for the work that you do and the time that you spend taking care of the community needs. The United Way is grateful to partner with you and support your work. I also want to say thank you to all of those people who have joined us today and devoted time to hearing about the community work that these two ladies have been doing and these organizations have done. The work couldn't happen without you. I hope you'll join us again at Tuesday. Information, our next tour will be posted on our Get Involved website page. So thank you once again, and have a great week. Pam, Catherine, thank you very much. And Sarah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a
all.
good week.
It was an honor. Yes. Have a wonderful week.
Take care now.
Thank you.